Um, Hello. Hmm, okay. So we are live now, and hello. This evening we are going to be having our session with Mr. Emmanuel Akpe. He is a stress manager himself. That is what he does, and he has been doing this for a very long time, for the past 5 years. So just be rest assured that you're learning from the experts, and he's going to be teaching us today on how to cope with stress at work. This is a very, 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 very important thing to know. Despite the increasing workload, how to still be productive without breaking down. So I beg of you, share this with people whom you care about, because he's going to be joining us in the next few seconds. Okay? So hold your questions. There'll be time for questions. And once he come on, please welcome him. Okay? Thank you very much. So over to Mr. Emmanuel.
Hello, Dr. Ezine. Thank you for this opportunity to speak on your platform. I
Thank
find it
you.
very interesting, and I know that a lot of us will gain from the session this evening. So
Yes.
I welcome us to the group. So we'll just go straight to the point. We're talking about how to manage workplace stress, and it's a very important topic because you spend half of your life in the workplace. You understand? On the average, 8 hours every day, you are at work. So, learning how to manage work stress is very, very important. It's something that we need to take very seriously. So, I want to start from the beginning. I want to share with us what actually stress is, then we'll build it up from there. So, people think that stress is what is happening around them. You see, people say that I've been stressed out lately, maybe because of the volume of work that they are doing. But do you know, in reality, stress is actually the way you respond to issues around you. So it is your response that makes you stressed out, not what is happening around you. And do you know one vital information? Stress is a silent killer. I remember about 3 years ago, I was invited to speak in one of the biggest teaching hospitals in Nigeria. They lost two doctors in 1 week. Do you know what happened? One of them was to perform a surgery. So he just felt that, okay, let me go take a few drinks, then come back to perform this surgery. He went, ate. As he was about stepping into the theater, he collapsed and he died. And do you know one funny thing? The surgery still went on. One would have thought that with the death of this doctor, they would have suspended all the surgeries and say, we're not doing anything for that day. But work still went on. So the responsibility to stay alive lies with you and you alone. You understand? It's not with the government, it's with you and you alone. So you must make sure that work stress is something that you pay very close attention to. Now, let me go into the next step. What are the different types of stress? If we're talking about the different types of stress, majorly, we have two. Majorly, uh, we have the acute stress and the chronic stress. You know, when they say acute, it means that it's occurring for a short period of time. You understand? For example, if something happens and you jump out of the window or you run out of the house, it's just for a short period of time. After that initial stress, the body begins to adjust. But when it's chronic, you understand, it means it is prolonged for a long period of time. And do you know the funny thing? A lot of people that are working are under serious chronic stress. And the one thing with chronic stress is that you are totally helpless about it. You don't know what to do. You understand? That's one major thing about chronic stress. And you find out that a lot of people are doing jobs that they don't like. They are doing jobs that they are not passionate about, resulting to tremendous stress. I've seen a lot of friends that are below 40, but they have gray hair all over. You understand? Because in stress management, you have two types of aging. You have the biological age and we have the chronological age. So when you say biological age, it means that your body is aging, you understand, very fast. So it means that your body is aging faster than your actual age. Because chronological age is your age in years. For example, if I'm 35 years, that's my chronological age. But it is possible for me to be 35 years and my body biologically is 60 years because of the tremendous impact of stress. You understand? So you see a lot of people, a lot of young guys below 30, some of them below 20, 25, they're already having they already have hypertension. Some of them are already having diabetes. Some are having depression. Some are having stroke. I've seen a guy, I went to speak in a conference and I met a guy that is below 30 and he has stroke. So you imagine that these are diseases that should occur in people that are 60 and above, but it's occurring in young people because of the impact of stress. Because stress accelerates your age. You understand? Stress accelerates the rate at which you are aging. So if you are not able to manage stress as well as you should, you discover that you'll be older than your age. Okay, so let's move on. What are the causes of work stress? There are a whole lot of causes, a whole lot. You understand? The major one is fear of being laid off. When your financial security is not guaranteed. Dr. Marvelous spoke very well about financial stress today, and I listened to most of the teaching. When your finance is not guaranteed, you definitely be stressed out. In fact, in 2009, there was a poll that was conducted by CNN. And in that poll, CNN asked the question, what is the number one cause of stress? And it was a global poll, so everybody in the world participated. And you know what everyone said? Money is the number one cause of stress. The funny thing is this: if you have so much money, you'll be stressed out. If you don't have money at all, you also be stressed out. Let me tell you this funny story. When we were doing our internship, I did my internship in Abuja, and where I served, not internship now, sorry, it was a NYSC. Where I served was the highest paying organization in Nigeria at that point. They were paying corpers, that's medical corpers now, not just the other type of corpers. They were paying medical corpers 94,000 naira every month. For good 5 months, they didn't pay us. So we had to protest and they finally paid. Do you know what these people did? They called us on Friday evening to come and collect our money. So Friday evening by 5 o'clock, they gave me almost 600,000 naira. Cash, not transfer, cash. I put that money in my bag. I took drop from my office to Kubwa where I was staying. And throughout the journey, my heart was panting. I was having palpitation because of fear. Is it one chance? Will they collect this money? I finally got to my house. I didn't sleep throughout the night because of stress. In fact, once cockroach moves or anything moves, I become scared. You understand? Or if someone knocks at the door. In fact, I told my friends that I was not around. I went for night vigil because of money. So having money became a source of stress for me. But I used to tell my friends that I prefer the stress of having money than the stress of not having at all. Because the stress of not having at all is more dangerous. You understand what I'm talking about? So work overload is another cause of stress in the workplace. When you have so much to do and you are not being rewarded for what you are doing, because money is a motivation. So if you are underpaid and you have so much to do, you become stressed out. And there is this thing: if your table is not that's your work table now, your work table is not well arranged, you'll be stressed out. So every morning You should organize your workbench. You should organize your table. Make sure all the files are well placed. Make sure everything is in place. Because if your work table is disorganized, it sends a sensation to the brain, and that puts you under stress. Same with if your office is not organized. If you have broken chairs all over, you have pieces of paper all over the office, you'll be stressed out unconsciously. In fact, you'll be asking yourself, what is actually making me stressed out? It's because your work environment is not organized. The brain does not work well when you are in a dirty environment, and that is a major cause of stress. Then we have the pressure to meet expectation. Maybe your expectation is you want to make 100,000 naira in 1 week, and it's already Thursday, and you have not hit 50,000 naira. You are under pressure. You put yourself under pressure. Once you put yourself under pressure, the major stress hormone, which is cortisol, will be released. And once cortisol is released, it goes straight to the body, and it disorganizes the system. And the impact of cortisol on the body is devastating. You understand? You wouldn't want cortisol to be in your body for a long time, because the way God created it, it should be in your body for a very short period of time, and after that, it goes back to its basal level. But when you are constantly under stress, all the hormones goes up, adrenaline, cortisol, and all that, and it keeps you under tension, and that is where you don't want to be. Another major cause of stress in the office is office politics. In fact, my first book, which is Office Palaver, Handling Work-Related Stress, I took out office politics as a major topic. It was a major chapter. Because if you don't know how to play the office politics well, you will always suffer. Have you noticed that there are some people, anytime they say they are sending someone to US for a training, they are the ones they call. You understand? Have you noticed that some ladies climb faster in the career ladder? It's not because they are sleeping around. No, they understand office politics. There is a way you will catch the attention of your boss that you literally have his ear. You understand? Literally, you have his ear. So it means that anything you tell him, he will likely do. There are some people that have the ears of their bosses. You don't want to get into trouble with such people. So, as a worker in the office, you need to be very, very careful. You need to be very, very careful of the things you say. Don't involve yourself in office gossips. Don't talk about things that will embarrass people, that they will not call you to come and judge. You said this, you said that. It is a major stressor in the office. So there is the good office politics, and there's the bad office politics. The bad office politics is when people go as far as killing their colleague just to take over their position. That is the extreme. You understand? But the good one is you doing your work diligently and understanding what your boss likes. Once you understand what your boss likes, forget it. You'll be the darling of the boss. And everybody will be wondering, is it jazz? No, it's not jazz. You understand how office politics works. If you notice, there are some people that are always taking the fall in the office. Even when they don't understand what happened in the office, the boss always punishes them because they don't understand office politics. At no point should you try to outshine your boss in the office. Don't try to, even when you are more intelligent than your boss. Give him the glory, give him all the accolades he needs and all that. And before you know what is happening, you are the darling of the boss. That is how it works. That's exactly how it works. So the second thing I want to talk about in this causes of stress, or let me say the fourth thing now, I want to talk about in the cause of stress is the rat race. The rat race. It is something everyone should avoid. What do I mean by the rat race? Also, the rat race is also a major topic in my first book. The rat race is when everybody's in a competition to outshine the other. You understand? So it means that I just bought a jeep, maybe not from my salary. Maybe I have an uncle that is doing very well, maybe a politician, and he just decided to, okay, let me just buy this my cousin a jeep. And do you know, everybody in the office, their stress response mechanism will be activated, and they will be under undue pressure just because of the impact of the stress. You understand? So that is where the rat race is activated. So each of them will want to outdo me. Some of them will go to the extent of borrowing from cooperative just to buy a superior car to what I have. So they will look at them as the people that are reigning in the office. That is a serious problem. That is a serious problem. So at no point should you put yourself in a position that you'll be struggling to outshine the other person. No. You know, there is one major quote about the rat race. Everybody in the rat race is a rat. You are a human being, you have to distinguish a race for yourself and enter into a race against your destiny, a race against what God has designed for you. You are not in competition with anybody. You know, when I finished from school, I was doing my stress management stuff jejely. Most of my colleagues are already working in the hospital setting. We're already earning far beyond what I was earning. And we're doing well. Some of them bought cars, we're already building houses and all that. But I kept at what I was doing. When I finally blew, you understand, they were the ones that were not coming to look for me because we're not in competition. If we're in competition, I would have simply gone to the hospital to go and work. So identify your race and walk your race and run your race diligently. Don't compete with anyone. So another cause of stress in the office is sitting or standing for long hours. Sitting or standing for long hours. You go to the office by 8 a.m. and you sit till 5 p.m. You don't even walk around. You don't stand up. You don't stretch and all that. You'll be under stress because of the tension that you are putting at the muscles or putting on the muscles at the back. You begin to have back pain or lower back pain at a very tender age. You understand? Sometimes you cannot even stand straight because of your sitting position. So it is very important for you to make sure you are not sitting for long or standing for long. So when you have sat for some time, you stand up. By standing up, it reduces the stress level. Just by standing up and moving around the office, it reduces the stress level. And once the stress level drops, your brain opens up and you are more refreshed. So let's continue. Another major cause of stress is money problems. Money problems. The reason why people embezzle in the office is because of money issues. I had a particular case of it was my friend's boss. They said he mismanaged some funds and the EFCC was coming to investigate him. Do you know that this guy lost weight in a day? Because when you are under severe stress, you lose all your nutrients. All your nutrients are exhausted. So you discover that you become dehydrated and you literally lose weight because your body is metabolizing or your body is burning fat or burning let me say fat, burning fat at a very fast rate. So because of that you lose weight, and because of that you look worn out because you are literally dehydrated. So that brings me to the point that when you are under stress, you need to drink a lot of water. You need to drink a lot of water because your body needs water at that point. So let's move on. Apart from money stress, we have domestic stress. In fact, apart from, let's say, money stress is the number one cause of stress, the second cause of stress is domestic stress. If your house is not in order, if your wife or your husband is not happy, there is no way you can do it in the office. There's no way. You understand? So you carry the annoyance, the frustration from your office or from your house to the office. And I can assure you that a lot of bosses that are very terrible and toxic is because their house is not in peace. If their home is in peace, they will not have they will not have that kind of toxic behavior in the workplace. You understand? So you actually need your house to be at peace to be able to work diligently in the office. I used to tell women, you are the stress manager of your home. So it means that you are the one that will determine if the home it should be at peace or not. If the man is agitated, the home can still be at peace. But if the woman is agitated, I can bet you everywhere will be on fire. You understand? So, as a man, you must make sure that your wife is always happy with you. I know, let me just share this joke. I know a friend that said that anytime he offends his wife, he will just transfer 20,000 naira, 50,000 naira to her account. Do you know once the wife sees the alert, he will call the husband, honey, what do you want to eat this evening? Without settling, the money just settles stuff for them. So that is his own way. I'm not saying you, as a married man, you should be sending such money to your wife if you don't have. It's just a joke. So money issues, domestic issues go hand in hand. You must make sure that your house is at peace. Now, let me explain something. There's what is called the work-life balance. Work-life balance means your ability to keep work at work and domestic affairs at home. Both of them should not miss. You understand? Both of them should not miss. I remember that a friend told me that since her sister started working with Access Bank, none of them have been able to have access to her. So it means that she's spending all her life in the office. And do you know what I used to say? When you retire, you are going back to your house. It is when you retire that you know that your friends are very valuable. It's when you retire that you know that your family is very, very, very important. Because at that point, all the people that used to call you will stop calling. All the people that used to be around you will stop being around you. You are totally on your own. And if care is not taken, that you actually sent everybody away because of work, you will enter into depression. So no matter how busy you are in the office, never allow your office time to take away your time for family and friends. No matter how busy you are, don't ever allow your office to keep you so engaged that you don't have time for your family. I know a lot of families that the children don't know their father. The children don't know their father. And when the father retires, he retires to that house where the children don't have any relationship with their father. And I can tell you the fact, the man will die faster than he should have been because the house is toxic for him. He has no relationship at home. So if you are working and you have an issue in the office, don't take it to the house. Don't take the frustration to your family. You can do this simple thing. Write down all your frustration in a piece of paper. Just write it down in a piece of paper. You understand? And squeeze it. As you are leaving the office, drop it inside the waste bin. Once you drop it inside the waste bin, in your mind, you have dropped all the problems in the office. And do you know that when you do that, it changes the whole perspective about how you see stress? Because in your mind, you have relieved yourself of that stress. So it is when you get back to the office that you pick it up from where you stopped. There are a lot of fathers, you take the stress of the office to the house, and you know one funny thing, stress is contagious. It means that when you are under stress, you transfer the stress to the whole members of the family. You understand? So as a worker, you understand? As a worker, You must make sure that every stress in the office ends in the office. And you must also make sure that the stress that generated at home doesn't get to the office. As a boss, you shouldn't inflict punishment on your staff because your wife offended you. I hope we're clear on that. So let's go to the signs of stress. What are the things you see and you tell yourself that Omo, you be like say stress done the whole meal. Number one, you are easily irritated. People say things to you and maybe it's a joke, a harmless joke, and you pick offense. You are under severe stress. Or you are anxious. You understand? You are anxious about issues. Or you are easily angered. You are easily annoyed. Any small thing pisses you off. You are under severe stress and you need help. Loss of interest. You are not interested in your friends. You are not interested in whatever they are doing. You are not interested in your whatever family meeting they are calling. You are not interested in anything. You know that you're under stress. You understand? So sleeping problems. Issues with sleeping problem is this. In the evening, let's say around 6 o'clock, there is a hormone that is released. This hormone is called melatonin, and it peaks around 12 midnight. So when you alter your sleeping pattern, you understand, because of your work schedule, maybe your work is very busy and you alter your sleeping pattern, it is going to affect you seriously. You discover that it will take time for the sleep wake mechanism to adjust, because there's what is called the sleep wake mechanism. Sleep wake mechanism means that there is something that makes you sleep and there's something that wakes you up, like an alarm in the brain. You understand? So if you are working late into the night, let's say you are this kind of a person that works from home, and the only time you have, or you're even working in the office, and because you have your passion, you close by 5 o'clock, you just rest a little bit, and 9 o'clock you start working. You work from 9 o'clock till 4 a.m. Then you sleep for like 3 hours and you go back to work. Do you know what will happen? It will alter your sleep wake mechanism. It will alter your circadian rhythm. These are the things that make you sleep. And it will alter the production of melatonin. And once melatonin production is altered, your sleep is disorganized. And it will take you several days for you to recover. What I advise is this. If you alter your sleep at night, make sure you take out at least 30 minutes during the day to sleep. When you sleep 30 minutes during the day, that is what is called power nap. You are more refreshed. You understand? Your circadian rhythm and your sleep mechanism begins to be adjusted gradually, and your melatonin level begins to come up gradually. And before you know what is happening, your sleeping problem goes. Then another sign you see and you say you're under stress is when you are fatigued. When you are fatigued, it means that you are easily tired. You just do a little job and it's as if the whole world is collapsing on you. You understand? You know that you are under severe stress. Then another thing again is body aches and headache. Because when you are under stress, the muscles of the body are under serious tension. When you are under stress, the muscles of the head are under serious tension. And I usually tell people like this, I usually tell people this, if you don't smile, you understand, the muscles of the face become tense, and that can lead to headache. By just smiling or by just laughing, you relax those muscles. And once you relax those muscles, you will be fine. So let's move on. So when you are so stressed out and you decide to cool off in a beer parlor, okay, let me just take a stick of cigarette or let me just take a bottle of beer, you know that the stress has gone to another level. You understand? So those are some of the things that we see in our body and we say we are stressed. And do you know one funny thing? Most times we go to the hospital that we are not feeling fine, want to see a doctor. And if it's in Nigeria, most times they are going to do a full blood count, they are going to do malaria and typhoid, which is very common. Everybody does malaria and typhoid. And you know the funny thing, they will most likely say malaria 1 plus. The reason why they're going to see malaria 1 plus is because stress reduces your immunity. You understand? When you are under severe stress, your immunity drops. And that is the problem with most people that are HIV positive. It is because the virus attacks their immunity. So many other diseases come in. The same way stress attack people's immunity. So once your immunity is low, the little malaria that is in everybody's body in Africa kicks up. And before you know what's happening, the person comes down with malaria, comes down with typhoid, and you start taking medication when stress is the main cause. Because sometimes in medicine, we treat symptoms, we don't treat the root cause. But if you can attack the root cause, which is stress, because stress can actually make you have fever. You understand? So if you can attack the root cause, which is stress, and you're able to manage the stress and you're able to rest, you discover that you overcome. In Africa, we don't rest. In Nigeria, we don't rest. Do you know I worked to the point that if I'm sleeping, my body will be doing me as if there is something that you are not doing. You are supposed to be doing something. And you know, I was looking so stressed out because there was no time to sleep. So you need to take out time to sleep. In some Western countries, they actually have something like a lounge where people can actually go and take a nap during their break time. But in Africa, your boss catch you sleeping, you are in trouble. So those are some of the things that we need to overcome. You understand? Just taking a nap for 30 minutes or 20 minutes will make sure that your body is well rested. Once your body is well rested, it comes back to homeostasis. That's what is called homeostasis. That is a state of balance. You understand? Once your body is balanced, the body is functioning the way it's supposed to function, you are back on your feet. So now, let's use the remaining 15 minutes to talk about how to actually manage the stress. How do you manage the stress? I've talked a lot about the what stress is, work stress, what it is. I've talked about the science. I've talked about the causes. I've talked about work-life balance. So how do you manage the stress? There's the ABC mechanism. Before I explain the ABC mechanism, I want to explain the circle that I drew. I drew this circle. It's a round circle. So just imagine a round circle. At the right hand, at the left hand, you have the stressors. The stressors are the things that are causing you stress. For example, of the stressors, you have school fees, house rent, pressure in the office wahala, house wahala, wife wahala, husband wahala, I've not married, nobody to marry, who will marry me now, love issues, heartbreak, those are stressors. Once you have come in contact with stressors, it moves to stress. You understand? So once it moves to stress, from stress, it moves to diseases. From diseases, it moves to death. The death of the person becomes a stressor for other people, and the circle continues. Because, for example, if the man is a breadwinner and the man dies of stress, the family automatically goes under stress and the circle continues. But do you know where stress management comes in? Stress management actually comes in between stress and diseases. So, excuse me, despite the fact that you are under stress, you don't go down to diseases. Despite the fact that you're under stress, you don't come down with disease. And that is where stress management comes in. Because stress is inevitable. You cannot do without stress. That is why there's good stress and there's bad stress. The good stress is called eustress. You understand? Good stress or eustress. EU stress. The bad stress is called distress. You understand? So if you are having the good stress, it's more of a motivation for you to work, and it's good for the body. The body needs stress to survive. You understand? But it should not be in excess. That's what we're talking about. So down to stress management. If you want to manage stress in the office, you must take care of what enters into your mouth. What goes into your mouth can determine to a great extent the level of stress you experience. Let me explain this. We have two major types of food. We have the dead food and we have the living food. You understand? The dead food are foods that don't have any nutrients in it. Let me give you an example. Examples of dead food are canned food, a lot of processed food, your overcooked food. These are foods that have virtually nothing to offer but toxins. They increase the rate of toxins in the body because of the amount of preservatives that they use in cooking it, amount of chemicals that they put in it. They increase the level of toxicity in the body. And once the body comes under high level of toxicity, stress comes in. And do you know some of these chemicals used in preservating food are carcinogenic? That means they cause cancer. So you must try as much as possible to do away with dead food, to do away with junk food, to do away with all the meat pie, egg roll, buns, and all that you usually take during the office hours. Why not replace it with living food? Living food are the food that are still alive. They still have their life force in it. It means they are still very much in their raw form. Those are living food, like your apple, your banana, all fruits and vegetables. These are living food. Let me tell you this thing. This is very important information. Do you know that if you revert to living food, sicknesses in your body begin to reverse? I know someone who had cancer. In fact, the man was the one that wrote a Hallelujah Diet. You understand? The one that wrote Hallelujah Diet, George McMoss. He had cancer of the colon. He decided to do fruits and vegetables for 1 month. He didn't eat anything cooked for I say 1 month, for 1 year, not even 1 month. For one full year, he was going on fruits and vegetables, nothing cooked. And do you know what happened? Cancer reversed. I know in Africa, because of the kind of work we do, our job is mostly energetic and all that. We cannot really survive without carbohydrates. But if 50%, let me even say 50% of your food is fruits and vegetables, you most likely not come under stress easily because your body has constant supply of nutrients. So because of the constant supply of nutrients, you will not come under stress. So in addition to your food, you must take at least 3 liters of water every day. 3 liters of water every day because 70% of your body is made up of water. And once you have enough water, the dehydration that is caused by stress will go away because you are taking in enough fluid. It's very, very important for us to take enough fluid. And most importantly, we must make sure that we exercise. We must make sure that we exercise. When you exercise, you are releasing some hormones, some positive hormones. Dr. Marvelous talked about some of those hormones. The first one is serotonin, the second one is endorphin. Serotonin is called the body's feel good hormone. So it means that when you exercise, the body releases serotonin and you feel happy. So that happiness you are feeling is as a result of the serotonin that is being released. And serotonin counters the effect of cortisol, which is the major stress hormone. And once the level of cortisol drops and the level of serotonin goes up, you feel happy. You move from depression to happiness just because of exercise. Exercise also releases a hormone that is called endorphin. Endorphin is the body's natural painkiller. And endorphin is released when you exercise. Endorphin is also released when you are laughing. You understand? Or when you are happy. So from exercise, let's move to laughter now. Do you know that laughter is a major stress releaser? And do you know the funny thing? The brain cannot tell if your laughter is fake or real. A heavy bout of laugh can release a hormone that will send the body into a state of ecstasy and will make you happy. You understand? So what do I do? When I'm under severe stress and the pressure is mounting, I go into my room, I lock up myself, or I enter into the bush. I make sure that people don't see me, and I start laughing. You understand? Because if you laugh on the street, they might arrest you. They might take you to one of the mental health institutions and all that. But if you can laugh in your house, nobody's going to arrest you. Once you laugh, your stress level drops. You understand? So let's move away from laughter now. When you are under severe stress, you need to take a walk. You need to take a walk. Just moving around the estate or just moving around your office environment or going to your colleague's office to go and greet them and say, ah, how na day now? I won't come still now. How is everything going? Hope you guys are doing well. You understand? It's a major stress reliever. So the change in posture drops the level of cortisol and gives you a sense of balance and all that. So now let me talk about relaxation techniques. There are many relaxation techniques, many. I wrote many of them in my latest book, The Stress Manager's Guide. And I will just single out two. I think Dr. Marvelous mentioned one of them this afternoon, but I will talk about two. The first one is called guided imagery. What is guided imagery? You program your brain to see what you want it to see. You close your eyes, but inside your inner eye, you are seeing yourself in US. If you are not in US, for example, if you are in Nigeria, you are seeing yourself in a very good environment in US, or you are seeing yourself in Aso Rock, you are seeing yourself in good position, or you are seeing yourself beside a beach and inhaling the fresh air that is coming from the water. You understand? Once you distract yourself from the stress that you are passing through, the body relaxes. So the main purpose of guided imagery is to distract you from what is causing you stress. And once you are distracted, your stress level drops. So sometimes I see myself with Donald Trump discussing business. Sometimes I see myself with some of the guys in Aso Rock, President Buhari and other people, they're discussing business. And once I change what I see from my reality, which is very stressful, my stress level drops. And you know, this thing is very powerful. Let me give you this testimony. I always visualize myself being interviewed on AIT, African Independence Television. And you know, about 3 months after, they called me for an interview. I appeared on Kakaki 2 times just by visualizing myself on Kakaki. It is very powerful because what you see is what you become. The picture you always see is what your life transforms to. So if you see poverty at every point in time, you are always thinking about your poor state and how poor, how suffering has mesmerized your body and all that, or how your environment is so poor, or how you are so ugly. That is what you become. But if you see yourself as doing very well, as flying at the top of your game, that is what you also see. That is what you also become. What you see is what you become. So the second one I will also want us to do, I will practicalize it, is what is called breathing exercise. Breathing exercise. So it's very simple. You breathe in, you hold your breath, and we count 1 to 20, and you breathe out slowly. So I want to see those that are under stress. If you cannot do this simple exercise, you are definitely under stress. So you need to practice it more. The more you practice it, the more you master it. So let's do the breathing exercise. So let's go. 1, 2, go. Breathe in. Hold it. Let me count 1 to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Breathe out slowly. Do you know when you do this for good 10 to 15 minutes, your stress level drops. Your stress level drops. And it's a very, very vital strategy. So, in conclusion, I will conclude with this. The responsibility to be alive for your family, not for your colleagues, so for your family and your friends, lies with you. You must take every step to make sure you are alive. You must take every step. And God has designed life this way. You have the default and you have the design. For you to live healthy and to be able to manage stress, you must live your life by design. It means If I see a bottle of a soft drink, because it's going to affect my stress level, I stay away from it. If I see dangerous processed food, they have canned stew now, they have canned egusi now. You understand? I saw it the other day, canned egusi. So if you see such things, you discipline yourself in such a way that you don't patronize them. So you are living your life by design. But you can also live your life by default, by playing to dancing to all the tunes. You see malt you take, you see mineral you take, you see any of the processed food you take, you see overcooked food in a very dirty environment, in a very dirty buka you buy. You understand? You are always sick because of your lifestyle. If you can be able to maintain these three things, you live long. The number one is if you're able to manage your stress. Number two, if you are able to maintain a healthy diet. Number three, if you are able to maintain a healthy lifestyle, you can never be sick. Even when you fall sick, your lifestyle will bring you back to health. So thank you very much for listening. I appreciate also. Thank you.
Wow. As in, wow. Do you know? Why? Before I say what I want to say, please, if you have any questions for him, please just drop it. Okay? Any questions based on what he has said, or whatever it is that is bothering you about stress at work or anything at all. He's an expert in in stress management. So just drop your questions. Okay? He's still here for the next 14 minutes. When you were talking at a point, I felt like crying. Okay, because especially when you talked about men and not recognizing their kids not recognizing them because of the
Sure.
stress and all that, it
Sure.
made me feel so bad, because I've even had a patient that they just brought into the hospital. The man just suffered from stroke. Okay, he
Wow.
has been hypertensive and he didn't go for medical checkup and all that. And from his workplace, he just went to have his bath and he dropped in the bathroom. And that night he died. So,
Wow.
based on that circle you described,
Yeah.
imagine the stress that will now transfer to the
The
wife, to the
family. Yeah.
children who are still going to school.
Yeah.
So I really, really felt emotional when you were explaining all of this, because this is the reality of so many homes,
Sure.
unfortunately. And I really wish
Mm.
that so many people will get to learn this. We'll get to listen to this webinar. Okay, there is a question here.
Okay.
It says, what of one working shift based work? Sleeping time will not be the same. So, what do you advise?
Okay, yes, I've been in this particular shoe before. As a every medical professional is always in this shoe because you have to do 7 days night, 7 days off. And the reason why they are giving you 7 days off is to be able to rest for the 7 days nights. But you know we don't rest. If they give me 7 days off, I go to hustle. You understand, using the extra 7 days. But one simple rule is this: if you work throughout the night, make sure that during the day you have enough time to rest. You understand? Make sure that during the day you have enough time to rest, at least 2 hours of sleep. So when you do that, the body still has some time to be able to regenerate itself, to repair the proteins that are dead, to metabolize what you have eaten and all that. Because the time for the body to grow is when you are sleeping. You understand? This is a joke now. Many of the short people that have refused to grow tall is because they use the time for sleep, to work, to hustle. So no time for the body to grow. So sleep is very important. It's very important. You need to take out time to sleep. So once you sleep during the day, it's so easy for you to sleep at night because the body is well rested. So that's
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, because sleep is it's when you're sleeping is the time your brain needs to clean out the toxic stuff
Yeah.
from the day, and also regenerate, and so that it can function more optimally. So don't joke with your sleep, guys. Don't joke with your sleep. So if you don't, okay, we are still here for the next 10 minutes. If you have any other question, please drop. Meanwhile, I am so, so grateful for this opportunity. And I will also say that this webinar should be paid for because it is so value loaded. And I
Sure,
really
sure,
wish every family watches this, not just individuals, but watching with their spouse and children, because we need to break this cycle. That in
sure.
that cycle, that circle
Mm, mm.
you described. We
Yeah,
really need to break it, because once one person is affected, it affects every other person over and over
sure,
again. The cycle
sure,
continues. So we
sure.
really need to break it by this knowledge of stress management. So,
Mm.
okay, someone has asked another question. Says, thank you, Mr. Emmanuel. My question is, what of a situation whereby at the workplace the staff strength is low? How can someone cope with his or her work?
Okay, so if yeah, one thing you should learn about stress is learn to say no. You understand? I know how dangerous it is to say no, but you can diplomatically say no. You understand? What I mean by diplomatically saying no is that you know your strengths, you know what you can do. Schedule your work, prioritize your work. In the busy schedule, I have worked in a place where we're just two, and we're on a normal day we should be like 10, but it was just two of us that were working there. But what we did was to prioritize the most important job. You understand? What is the most important job? Once those ones are done, all the other ones can come up later. So that gives you enough time to rest. But when you want to handle everything at the same time, it will not be easy for you. So you need to prioritize your job.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. You need to prioritize your job. Very, very important. She said, okay, because this is what I am facing where I work, leaving me to work almost round the clock. Okay, he has answered your question. Just drop any other question you have for him. Then, for the person that asked about sleep, said, okay, that clarifies that the sleeping time must not be the same. I just try to get at least 5 to 7 hours sleep daily, as
Yeah,
much as possible.
sure.
Okay. So if you have any other question, drop it, and he is here for the next 7 minutes. Okay, great. And then again, with respect to work, just as he explained, prioritizing. Just know that there are some works that let me say someone else brings to you, making it feel like it's very urgent. Before you take
Mm,
on work from any person, ask the find out whether it is an urgent work. That's so that you can prioritize how important that job is, because some people can project urgency on you,
sure,
whereas that
sure.
stuff is not urgent. So it's not urgent. So learn to be able to say no, just as he has explained, okay? Because
Mm,
you need your own sanity to really work well at work. You need your own sanity to handle everything and work properly. So,
mm.
okay, okay, no other questions for now. So, Mr. Emmanuel, you can tell us final words, how we can contact you, even your books, because you said so many important things from your book. I
Yeah,
believe that we can benefit more from it when we read it, or them. I
yeah,
think two of
sure,
them,
sure,
right here.
sure. Yeah,
So,
two of
tell
them.
us
Yeah.
final words and how we can contact you, and also how we can get any of your books.
Okay, I'm actually on Facebook. Just type Emmanuel Akpe or Akpe Emmanuel. That's AKPE. You see the stress manager. So you can always contact me, send me a message. If you want the books, the soft copies are available. You can send a message. We'll give it across to you, and we'll tell you how much it's going to cost. You understand? Then my final word is that you need to take out time to rest. You need to make sure that you're taking care of your body. You need to be very observant of how your body is working. If you're having some signs, for example, you're having constant headache, don't say I will manage it. Don't say I'm having headache, but let me just be managing it. My body is doing me somehow, but let me just be managing. Don't manage your body, because the day that body collapses, everything goes, but your spirit and your soul, everything disappears. So you need the body to function on this earth. You understand? So you must take care of that body that God has given to you. So that when you get to heaven, God will not be surprised. You're supposed to come at the age of 90. Why are you here at 20? Because you didn't take care of the body. So you need to take care of the body very well. Once you're having any sign, make sure you take out time to meet the expert and let them explain to you. I also have a Telegram group. Dr. Ezine is a part of the Telegram group. We do training almost every week. Probably I'm going to drop the link at the comment section later, much later, so people that are interested can actually click in and we'll take it off from there. Because most of these things we are doing, they are free of charge. Just like what you are, this program is totally free. The Telegram group is free. Most of the things I do are free, but I know where I make my money from. You understand? The money that I use to survive is just few people that give me the money, and it's heavy money. You understand? But most of the other things, they are just free of charge.
Thank you so much. I think we have two
You're welcome.
final questions before we round up. Someone
Okay.
asked, what if you are given a target at work and the deadline is approaching? How do you manage stress at this point?
Okay, you know what I've discovered? Never put yourself under pressure. Never put yourself under pressure. Do you know there's what is called the law of attraction? Your targets, you're meeting your targets and all that is attracted by how peaceful you are, your state of mind. I've discovered that anytime I'm agitated, I don't get what I want. But anytime I hand it over to God and say, God, this thing, I leave it. I can't kill myself. I get it on a platter of gold. Because the thing is this, when you collapse on that job, they are going to take it and give it to the next person.
True.
You understand? And why kill yourself over any job? In fact, I took a decision that nobody can put me under pressure. If I'm going to do a job that is going to put me under pressure, I just resign and go away. You understand? I have seen a lot of bankers. You know, I have a friend. He told me that one of her colleagues just walked out of one of the banks. She didn't resign. She just stood up from the banking hall and just walked out of the bank, and they didn't see her again. That's how she resigned. Yes, because the pressure was just too much. So what I'm saying is that don't allow anything to put you under pressure. Your being under pressure will not make the result to come faster. You understand? It can only damage your body. So get to a state of mind that nothing disturbs you. You understand? Nothing disturbs you, despite the fact that something's there's a target in the next few days. If you don't get, you are going to lose your job or something's going to happen. Don't be in a state of panic. Let me give you this testimony. I at some point when I started doing stress management, money was not coming like as it should, and my rent was due. And my landlord said, if you don't pay on Sunday, I am giving you till Sunday. If he told me this on Monday, if you don't pay till Sunday, I'm going to throw your things out of the house. Do you know by Saturday night there was no money to pay for rent, and I was at peace. You understand? When I was when I the maybe probably the God I served saw how peaceful I was. By the next morning, in fact, it was during the night. I just felt, let me just call one of my friends. Maybe the person can help. I just called one or two people, and the money was available 8 a.m. on Sunday. But if I was not at the state of peace, I wouldn't have reasoned that let me call this person. So you need your mind to be at rest for it to function at optimum level.
This is so true, so true, because stress can cloud your memory, your thinking. You
Exactly.
won't have clarity to think of the next best solution to situations. Now, the
Exactly.
final question is, thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel. As a student, how can you cope with school stress and your side hustle?
It's very easy. You know, the stress in school is a common stress. Everybody goes through it. You understand? And it's as if when you are in school, it's as if the stress is the highest. When you graduate from school, you move on to maybe NYC, it's as if the stress is the highest. So there's never a point where you say, there is no least stress in life. When you finish NYC, marriage, the most stress. You understand? You see that the stress is um,
I think we have, okay. Well, I think we have a problem with network. So, okay, I think we have a problem with our network, but hopefully when he joins back, he will answer the question, I think, as a comment, because it is already 1 hour. So let's appreciate Mr. Emmanuel in the comment section. Whatever it is you have to tell him, appreciate him. Okay, let's appreciate him, because this is so much value at no cost. And I would really advise that we share this with other people. Okay, okay, he's back.
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, okay, great. So you were answering a question about student and side hustle. Yeah.
Yes, you need to learn how to manage your time. There's what is called time management. You understand? You must create a time to read your books. You must create a time to do your assignments, and you must create a time for your side hustle. Don't allow both times to meet. Don't use the time for school for side hustle, and don't use the time for side hustle for school. You understand? So if you can create time for each of them, it works smoothly. When everything is scheduled, it's easy for you to flow. You understand? The two should not meet. For example, you're in a class and they call you, can you come and supply something? No, 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 no. No. The reason why you're in school is to pass. You understand? And when you come out of school, you cannot face your side hustle 100%. And do you know one funny thing? Most of the big guys in the internet industry started when they were in school. Internet business is the best side hustle you can do. You understand? Because it doesn't disturb you, especially if it's something that you need to do delivery. You can always get a delivery guy. Can you meet me in school? So that way, it's not taking so much of your time. So you need to schedule your time. You need to make sure that both jobs don't interfere. So once your time is well scheduled, I'm sure you are going to be able to scale through.
Okay. So I believe that has answered your question. Time management is very important. So let's appreciate Mr. Emmanuel. He has done so much justice to this topic on how to cope with stress at work, because this is not something you should joke with, because it can affect your relationship, it can get you fired at work, it can affect your marriage, it can trigger divorce and all of that. So please,
Sure.
let's appreciate him for this wonderful value-packed session. We are so grateful. Personally, I am so grateful because I've learned a lot. I am so grateful to you, and wow, we are really blessed. So someone said, Mr. Emmanuel, God will continue to bless you for this wonderful session with you at no cost. You are really blessed. You're so blessed. Thank you so much for the wonderful time. Thank you. Thank you, guys. So we are going to be preparing for the next session tomorrow. Okay, guess what we are going to be learning tomorrow morning? We are going to be learning how to manage the health conditions that are due to stress. So imagine yourself being a mini doctor for you, for your family. So imagine something like that. You're going to be learning from Dr. Tochukwu Macaulay, 12 p.m. afternoon session, and evening session by Dr. Vivian Okoye on how to cope with parenting stress. So please, guys, share about this summit. Let many of us learn together and build resilience to this stress, and also break that circle which Mr. Emmanuel Akpe has taught us today. Okay, thank you, and thank you again. Good night, guys, and see you all tomorrow.